So there's Deputy National Security Advisor Matt Pottinger. He's been with the administration for some time, and I actually first encountered him when we were in Singapore at the Singapore summit with Kim Jong-un and the North Korea team. Then there's also a social secretary and another official. And look, there's been people leaving all along over the last couple weeks. They've been taking jobs in other capacities, but there's just some people too who are looking to essentially jump ship before it's officially, a change into another administration, and want to say that they left yesterday. And it's what we've seen from several administration officials over the last month or so. Now, let's talk about this. The president did yesterday put out a statement via his social media coordinator, Dan Scavino, saying, quote, "Even though I totally disagree with the outcome of the election and the facts bear me out, nevertheless, there will be an orderly transition on January 20th. I have always said we would continue our movement, even though I totally disagree with the outcome of the election and the facts bear me out." Well, I don't have the rest of that statement. We're still sort of flying by the seat of our pants here today. It's been a long 24 hours, but the president acknowledging that he is going to leave and that Joe Biden and his administration, his team, will come in on January the 20th. Now, I will tell you, Sean, here in the Capitol, the president is getting blamed for what happened yesterday, as expected, even from members of his own party, except for Congressman Matt Gaetz, who had this to say about the president getting the blame. Listen.
President Trump explicitly called for demonstrations and protests to be peaceful. He was far more, you can moan and groan, but he was far more explicit about his calls for peace than some of the BLM and left-wing rioters were this summer when we saw violence sweep across this nation.
And Sean, I know you guys have played some sound bites from the president's address yesterday. He put out fairly quickly when everything started to escalate, calling for peace and telling people to go home. Sean?
Yeah, he's committing to an orderly transition of power as well. Another person to note, Mick Mulvaney, announcing he's resigning from his post as an envoy to Ireland. We'll continue to watch for that. If I may, Emerald, interview you just for a second here. I watched your coverage yesterday. If I remember correctly, you actually were caught up in this chaos yesterday. You were inside. Yeah. What was the feeling like inside as we take a look at some of your reporting from yesterday? Did you have any contact with any of the elected officials there? Was it fear?
Yeah.
What was the mood like? Walk us through that.
Well, Sean, in a capacity as a reporter, you're put in situations that sometimes might seem threatening to security. Like here at the White House, I'll tell you several times I've been standing right here on the North Lawn, and Secret Service has come and they've ushered me off and moved me into the briefing room and down to the basement when someone has tried to jump the fence or there's been a shooter or instances like that. So I've been through that before. I probably wasn't as scared as a lot of the people out there were for me, and I thank everyone for their calls, their messages, checking on my safety. Clearly, when you saw the images coming outside the Capitol, it did look very concerning. But I was talking to a lot of the people in Congress, both messaging them on the phone and talking to them as we encountered one another in the hallways, and they were just as confused as the rest of us. They didn't get a lot of information from leadership, and we were safe. I will say, when I got home, I realized my kid had been watching some of the news coverage, and he asked me, "Mommy," he said, were the cops helping you or hurting you? And I thought, well, that's a little sad. And I told him, no, baby, the cops were helping me. So, we were very protected. We were safe. And the Capitol Police put us in a place and made sure we were all fine.
Well, look, we're absolutely happy that you are, and of course, and that you had to explain that story to your kid. It's good to hear from you. Your reporting was excellent yesterday. Thank you for staying on top of that, as always, as you do. I know you still got a lot of work to do today. The news goes on. Newsmax White House correspondent joining us live, Robinson. Thank you.